going back to it again, that's a terrible thing to say because that's people's jobs. However, Nissan is a company, is a brand that wants to carry on for the next 100 or 200 years. So the short-term thing, when I mentioned about the dips in the thing, the short-term hardship, which people will feel in their 50-year plan, is not a hardship.
Well, Honda's interesting compared to the others in that they are going on a 4-month shutdown. Yeah. But the staff will be on full pay for 2 months, and even in the next 2 months they'll be on 80% pay. Yeah. Because they don't want to lose the people because of what they've invested in that staff.
Yeah, just restart it. Yeah, that is a good. Again, that's not something that's happened overnight. They've thought about that. They thought this is coming. Skilled work staff. Yeah, I've been them. They don't come back. We're in big trouble then. So yeah, you're absolutely right. That's been worked as they're building the budgets up. Their margins, a percentage of that margin is put to one side for disaster things like that. Boots. You know, Sainsbury's, they've got 2% margins written in for stock write-offs. You know, the price you're paying has got 2% on, allegedly. Allegedly.
Honda saved about 200 million by dropping out of F1.
Yeah, cut back. And what a good PR thing. You know, we don't want to lay people off, so we'll pull out of Formula 1. Oh, aren't they good? But Halfords and the likes will start to increase the volume, and they're actually not looking forward to the recession, but they are expecting an increase. B&Q, we were talking to a gentleman before, B&Q are expecting to see a sales increase because people are not moving houses, people are renovating, they're doing up kitchens, showers, bathrooms. They will grow as people start thinking, well, actually I'm going to stay. So, like I said, car industry is one thing, but everything, name an industry and there will be a positive impact on it. The decisions you make at whatever level are to do with the survival, the prosperity of that company. It's that simple. Now, redundancy, as I mentioned before, you know, is a personal disaster. However, and you talked about Woolies a little bit there, you know, do you continue with the staff count that you've got and risk bankruptcy? Or do you cut and re-employ later on? These are very, very tough questions, but you know, if I was in the business and we had to close a factory in Scotland and move it to Italy, because we can get it cheaper for 6 months and bring it back, I'd do it, because that's my job, and it's about the long-term survival of that business. There may be people, you may be struggling at the moment, there may be people that you need to put on part-time, there may be people that you need to let go, there may be people that you may need to re-look at some type of, whatever the payment packages are. And you think, don't want to do that. But if you do it, will it save your company? If you don't, will it ruin your company? And they're tough decisions that you've got to make. The business comes first. You think you're great in whatever big companies you work for. You've forgotten 5 minutes after you left. Let's be honest about it. You know, oh God, we can't survive without. Yeah, they can. The business is a lot bigger. Right, selling tips. Okay. There's 3 ways you can improve your sales or the money coming into your company. Your suppliers, internally, and finally, customer facing. And you probably have to suggest looking for the customer facing information. So I'll kind of run through these bits a little bit. Okay. You've all got suppliers in different sizes and different ways that they actually deal with you. Now then, a benefit to your business, when I talked about the long-term business plans that we look at, you know what your fixed costs are every month, what you're paying for everything, what you need. Now, at the moment, if sales are dipping, it will get closer and closer. It may go under it from time to time, but it may just stay just closer. So if you're struggling and the market's looking difficult, possibly for the next 3 months, possibly for the next 6 months, how are you going to make that gap wider? Well, the other way is to actually look at your suppliers and negotiate and sell to your suppliers what you need. Big companies do it. Unfortunately, part of my job is having to be summoned into the likes of Tesco's when they go, I want 20% off your prices, I want 90 days payment terms, I want 90 days payment terms, or you're delisted. Right, okay. Then you've got to negotiate and get to somewhere. Do it to your suppliers. Now then, the best way to do it right is look at what you get, how you get paid, what price you get, what's the terms of payment, how long. What is it you actually need to help your business, right? So prepare a list. Don't drag them in and say, I want £300 off every single order else and I hate you. Don't do it that way. Actually, prepare a list. What must you get? What we call must-haves. And what would you like? What's the secondary gain? You know, something that they may give you. Now, prepare a list then of what. And when they come, sit down with it and say, look, this is what we want. Do it fairly, but do it firmly. Yeah? Now then, if the person dealing with you is probably a salesperson, they're going to want something back in return, because that's a fair and reasonable way of looking at it. So you actually prepare a list of what you want to give in return. Now, it might be that they deliver to you on a Wednesday, but the rest of the orders in that area are delivered on a Friday. Can your business cope with it being on the Friday or on the Wednesday, and they're gaining that transportation cost? There's always something that you can give. Think as openly as you can. You know, don't discount anything. And I said, you know, sell your proposal. Get them to agree. You know, we're both in business to make a profit. At the moment, times are a little bit hard. I need X, and if you do that, I will give you that. That's a fair and reasonable proposal. Yeah? And also, agree, if you want, agree to review it every 6 months or whatever. Say, look, let's keep this in position for the next 6 months, and then we'll review it again. If the economic conditions are the same or getting worse, we need to look at it again. But if we're doing better, we can revert. Now, that is a fair and reasonable proposal, and if somebody came to me, if I was supplying something to them, that's a fair and reasonable proposal, and see how we can both move our business together to both benefit.